All right, let's jump into a concrete planter project. This deep dive is all about making one from scratch. I mean, it's such a cool way to add some rustic charm to your space.
And you know who doesn't love a good DIY project?
And you know what's even cooler? The sustainability angle. We're talking repurposing leftover cement and sand, less waste and more DIY spirit. I love it.
I'm all about that. Okay, so let's talk supplies.
Sure.
What's on the shopping list for this concrete adventure?
You'll need cement, obviously, and sand, of course, water, and, any kind of cooking oil.
Cooking oil? Really?
Yep. You'll see why in a bit.
I'm intrigued. What else?
Then you'll need 2 different size bowls, like one bigger one for the outside and a smaller one to make the planter's cavity.
Ah, so that's how we get the shape. Clever. A mixing container and a sturdy spoon, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
And some tape to hold it all together.
You got it.
All right. So we've got our supplies all laid out. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. So how do we go about mixing the concrete? So first, the ratio. It's super important to get the right consistency. So we'll use 1 part cement.
1 part cement
to 3 parts sand.
and 3 parts sand. Got it. But how do we know when we've hit that perfect concrete consistency?
You want it to be like thick batter.
Like pancake batter?
Yeah, exactly. You know, thick enough to hold its shape, but not too dry that it crumbles.
Makes sense. So no lumps then?
No lumps. Smooth and consistent is the key.
Got it. Smooth and consistent.
Yeah.
So we add water gradually while mixing.
Yeah, exactly. Just until you reach that pancake batter texture.
Okay, pancake batter, consistency check.
Yeah.
So the mix is ready. What's next?
Now we create the mold.
Ooh, the mold. Okay, I'm ready.
First, grab that larger bowl and grease the inside with the cooking oil.
Ah, that's why we need the oil, to make it nonstick.
Exactly. It'll make removing the planter a breeze later.
Smart. Okay, so greased bowl, what's next?
Now carefully pour the concrete mixture into that greased bowl. Then take the smaller bowl and nestle it right in the center of the concrete.
Ah, so the space between the bowls becomes the planter. But how do we keep the bowls in place while the concrete dries?
Tape. Just secure the edges of both bowls together, make sure they're nice and snug.
Like a concrete hug.
Exactly like a concrete hug.
All right, so we've prepped our mold, poured the concrete, and given it a good concrete hug with the tape. Anything else before we let it dry?
Well, we need to make sure the concrete is evenly distributed between the bowls.
Oh, right, so we don't end up with a wonky planter.
Exactly. You want nice, even thickness for strength.
Got it. So how do we ensure that even distribution?
As you're nesting that smaller bowl, just rotate it gently and press down evenly. This helps get rid of any air pockets, too.
Okay. Rotate and press, got it. So now we really can let it dry right.
Well, almost. There's one more thing to consider. The curing process.
Curing? What's that all about?
Basically, it's letting the concrete reach its full strength and durability. It takes a bit of patience.
Patience, huh? All right. How long are we talking?
At least 3 full days undisturbed.
3 days? Okay. I can handle that. But where's the best place to let it cure?
A sunny spot actually helps it cure faster and stronger.
Wow. Soaking up the sun and getting stronger. I like it. So 3 days of sunshine, and then what?
Then the magic happens. We free our concrete masterpiece from its mold.
The grand reveal. I can't wait.
It's like unwrapping a present you've been waiting for days.
After those 3 days of curing, so how do we actually get our planter out of the mold?
Well, it's time to carefully remove the tape and then gently try to remove that larger bowl. Hopefully our planter will just slide right out.
Fingers crossed. But what if the inner bowl, the one that makes the planter's cavity, what if that gets stuck?
If it's stuck, just try twisting it gently. Don't force it too much. We don't want any cracks in our concrete.
Gentle twisting, got it. I bet it's so satisfying to finally see that finished planter.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's like, each planter has its own little personality.
I love that. So unique. So are we done now? Or are there any finishing touches we can add?
That's up to you, really. You can keep the raw concrete look. Or you can get creative.
Ooh, getting creative. What kind of finishing touches are we talking about?
You can sand it down if you want a smoother look. It can actually bring out some interesting texture, too.
Really? I thought sanding would just make it smooth and boring.
Not at all. Concrete has all these different particles in it. Sand, gravel, cement. And they all have different sizes and shapes.
So when you sand it, you're kind of revealing that hidden texture.
Exactly. It creates more depth and visual interest.
I love that. But what about color? Can we add some color to our concrete creations?
Of course. You can paint it, stain it, or even add some mosaic tiles or use stencils.
Oh, some mosaic tiles. Now that's an idea.
It's all about making it your own. And don't forget about sealant. That can help protect your planter from the elements.
Good point. so it stays beautiful for years to come.
All right, so we've talked about looks, but let's not forget the most important part. We need to plant something.
Right. Time to get our hands dirty and plant that pepper seedling.
Okay, I'm excited. But when it comes to soil, what kind is best for peppers?
Peppers need well-draining soil, something rich in organic matter. You don't want their roots to be sitting in water.
So nothing too dense or clay-like then?
Exactly. A lighter, airier mix is what you want.
Got it. I'm really curious to see what other people have done with this technique, like what kind of planters they've created.
Yeah, me too. We should check out some real-world examples.
Perfect.
Actually, I found this great blog post by a DIY expert. They have some amazing tips and inspiration.
Ooh, let's dive in. So this DIY expert's blog, what did they have to say about concrete planters?
Well, they really emphasized how simple this project is. Like, you don't need any fancy tools or anything.
That's so true. Anyone can make these planters.
Exactly. And they even use stuff you probably already have at home, like those plastic bowls and the cooking oil. It's all about being resourceful. I love that.
And you know what else they mentioned? The sustainability aspect.
Oh, right. We're basically giving those leftover materials a new life.
Yeah, instead of just throwing them away.
It's like we're being eco-friendly and creative at the same time.
Exactly. And you know what else I found interesting in the blog?
With that?
They talked about how therapeutic working with concrete can be.
Oh, yeah. I totally get that. There's something so satisfying about making things with your own hands.
Right. They were saying it brings a sense of accomplishment and calm.
It's almost like meditation. You kind of disconnect from everything else and just focus on creating.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you're finished and you see what you've made, it's just this amazing feeling.
It's like you've transformed something ordinary into something special.
Exactly.
And this concrete planter is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Once you've got the technique down, you can make all sorts of things.
Like what?
Well, think about it. Bookends, candle holders, little sculptures. The possibilities are endless.
Wow. That's so inspiring. So to all our listeners out there, what will you create?
Yeah, get out there and experiment. You might surprise yourself with what you can make.
That's a great note to end on. So that wraps up our deep dive into concrete planters. We hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, happy crafting.